Welcome to part 2 of the two-parter. Last week we did part 1. This week we're doing part 2 of Franz von Zerneck's Head Full of Useless Information About Movies, with continuing with our guest William Lustig, great director. Last week on the after show video we talked about Maniac, and I could talk about that forever, but I also want to talk about your other things, and I want to talk about Vigilante. I love that movie. That's such a great movie. And what you were talking about on the show about how your influences with the Italian, the detective pictures and spaghetti westerns. And those.
Well, I mean, Vigilante was
such a good movie. Great soundtrack.
I mean, clearly owns a debt to Michael Winner's Death Wish.
Yeah.
But it really, stylistically and emotionally, is closer to the Italian Death Wish, French Connection ripoff films that were being made after in the 70s, and that was the.
Did you ever see Die Like a Cop, Live Like a Man, Die Like a Cop? What's that director's name? Philip D'Antone? Or no,
Fernando De Leo.
No, there was no.
Fernando De Leo.
No, there's another who directed Cannibal Holocaust and.
Oh, Cannibal Holocaust was Ruggiero Deodato.
Who also who also directed
that one.
That's one of
frankly, all those movies, they all kind of like melt
they
together.
do,
for me.
absolutely. I know.
It's not like one that that distinguishes it for me.
I know, but this one I liked because it had the blonde cop and the brunette cop, and they were on the back. Great motorcycle chase. Through Italy. Unbelievable.
The stuntmen in Italy were second to none. They were really the pre-Jackie Chan stunt people.
No helmets, on the fly, no permits, just then I bring that up because Vigilante, if I'm not mistaken, that great car chase that you had, and I don't know if it was a mistake or not. You alluded to it on the commentary that it maybe was with the sound effects. But for whatever reason, you had no music over the car
chase. That was deliberate.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, that was totally
because
deliberate.
that I find that's the only way to do an effective car chase is to have no music over it and then have it come in at the end, like a bullet, like when the car blows up and then.
I think it depends. I mean, I think I think in Maniac Cop 2, I did choose music, but it was a real blending of the sound effects with the music and everything, and I really did think it worked effectively.
Yeah, that's true. There's always exceptions.
But some reason with Vigilante, I wanted to kind of punctuate it with that music coming in, where I consider it's crazy when the car comes like over the bridge.
Yeah.
And it's airborne.
Uh-huh.
I thought of it as sort of like the horses jumping over the mountain, and it's like in a cowboy movie.
Uh-huh.
And that's when we had the music. That was the cue for the music.
And Randy Jurgensen, put a wig on.
Yes.
Was driving. And I love this story. Again, I'm going to go back to William Friedkin. I'm so sorry. But I believe Sonny Grosso showed because of his gold shield, was able to steal a lot of that from French guy. And you did the same thing with Jordan.
We gave Randy Jurgensen his gold shield to work out. His gold shield got us the scene in the subway in Maniac.
I didn't remember that. Oh, really?
Yeah. You're not allowed to shoot on a subway.
No, but I thought, but it was his. It's okay.
Yeah. We had a permit that allowed us on the place where the turnstile, the steps. But once she stepped on the platform, we were in forbidden zone.
Oh, and, was it like 3 in the morning, or you?
No, it wasn't empty. Actually. But it was probably, I would say, around I want to guess 10 or 11 o'clock, maybe even midnight. But what Randy did was he took the person from the subway authority out for drinks or dinner or something.
Yeah.
And
can you do that anymore or no? Okay.
The things we got away with back then. And so I put a camera and a cameraman on the train, to go to the, so I could get a POV shot, from inside the train, the girl banging on the glass, and we had to go to the next station, come back, it was all this kind of stuff, and Yeah, so that was the...
And that bathroom, I've always had that question, and this is probably boring, but
Tell me.
the bathroom in Maniac.
That was not in the subway.
I figured it wasn't in the subway. All right, I'm glad I had the opportunity to ask.
We shot that
because it's a very long bathroom with the different stalls, and I'm thinking.
In fact, that door doesn't even open. The door that they all run from the exterior doesn't open. So they all go up to it and pretend to open it.
Okay, cut.
Yeah, exactly. So that bathroom was on 23rd Street, right next to the East Side Highway.
Okay, yeah.
Right over there, right near what's it called? What's it called? City. You know, the big apartment thing.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't know.
Stuyvesant.
Oh, all right.
Not Stuyvesant. The other
I don't know.
I forget.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
23rd Street.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about Tom Savini?
Sure.
Is that the show is primarily about you, but I just have all these. This is the leftovers of what I didn't ask.
Well, you should have Tom on. He'll come on.
God.
Yeah, when he's in L.A. If you ever see him doing one of those conventions,
Oh yeah, he does.
I'll put you in touch with him and
Oh,
we
my
can
God.
put him on the show.
Oh, questions on that.
Oh, Tom.
You know, he wrote this great. I think he wrote it a book about his makeup effects that is frayed around the edges. You pick it up, it disintegrates, but I look at it all the time.
Tom is the king of practical effects.
Practical effects,
and
you can't accomplish it digitally. They try. I've never seen horror.
Well,
that's not true.
The new Maniac is a combination of practical.
Oh, okay.
And
it has to be a combination like sorry.
No, it's a combination of practical and CGI.
Yeah.
And
that works.
And it. You know what happens?
Like Jurassic Park, it works.
Well, I think in terms of the murder scenes, I question whether it works or not. For me, I watch it and it looks too perfect. And I think part of what worked so well with Savini and Dawn of the Dead and everything was there was something about it that you just. It's not that you thought it was real, but that you felt like it just you felt like, for instance, there could be pain with the actors. There's some jeopardy.
There you go. Yeah.
Whereas when everything starts to feel perfect and you start to have that digital thing,
it doesn't scare you. It works with like science fiction and space and
I think it's even on the subconscious.
My take on it is that I know as a boy watching your movie and like Scanners and Friday the 13th and Dawn of the Dead and everything, to me it was a fascinating thing. Like Ray Harryhausen movies are fascinating. You know it's fake. Sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you stare at it and you say, I don't have to do that. And you try to figure it out and you become fascinated. And it keeps you, on a business standpoint, it keeps you, a young boy, it keeps you going back and back and back and watching it over and over again. And I think it serves the movie because you start to appreciate the movie. You come back and over again to see how they did this and how they took the scalp off and Tom Savini's head blowing up in the car.
You know, I wonder sometimes, when you mention Ray Harryhausen, you know, I think of contemporary sci-fi movies. And I find myself not engaged in them as I was with, like, Earth versus Flying Saucers.
Yeah.
And even The Day the Earth Stood Still, Robert Weiss.
Great director.
And I wonder sometimes if, again, the perfection of computer effects makes the product feel colder.
Yeah. I agree with you.
And there's something analog about these older films that makes them feel more. You feel closer to them.
It's more personal. You're more engaged. You become disengaged when it's flat, or even though you say, "Oh my God, this is beautiful." Like, so there's some in the one of the new Star Wars. there is a scene where all the stormtroopers are on the ground and the ships are flying, and it looks like the paintings, the artwork when you were a kid and you're looking at all the artwork of Star Wars and the artist rendering of what it will look like. For the first time in my life, it looked like that, and that there's something awe-inspiring in that.
Right.
But besides that, there's absolutely something to what you're saying, and I agree with you. You know,
And I don't know if it's a generational thing.
It's tricky.
You know,
I don't know that it is.
I could watch Twilight Zone over and over again, even their science fiction episodes, and
because they're dramas.
Yeah, and I find myself interested in.
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And I just don't find myself interested necessarily with Star Wars.
Yeah, you mean the first one?
All of them.
Oh, well, maybe I
find them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear what you're saying. They're serials, and there's not. But I think it was a general.
I don't think they're bad movies. I just don't find myself wanting to watch them again.
But I didn't see Star Wars. I didn't see Star Wars to say I want to make that. I saw The Exorcist, and I saw Cruising, and I saw The French Connection, and I saw Sorcerer, and I said, this is what I want. This is because those movies change your life. They change the way you view and interact with the world, and that's what this show is about. And those are to me the important movies. So Star Wars, as much of an impactful movie as that is, I never go back to that movie.
Right.
When I'm making a movie or when I'm writing, I never go back.
So what's your influence? What was your influence on?
Well, there's a show that I did, and Meredith Monroe, who couldn't be here today, interviewed me, and I think, The Exorcist changed my life. A Taxi Driver, to me, it's a perfect movie. Maniac, to see for the first time the genre picture surrounded around as the killer as the protagonist opened so many doors for me as far as what's possible. It blew me away. I couldn't believe it. I wrote a Joyce Carol Oates script called Zombie with the Maniac in mind. It's unmakeable because it's a Richard Donner type character, and you know her books, so she's but I'm very proud of the script. Breathless, the remake, the Richard Gere, Valerie Kaprisky movie. King of Comedy.
What about the
Valerie Kaprisky? She worked a lot in France in the 80s. I don't know what happened.
Boy, I remember how hot she was.
Oh, man. Well, it's funny. That's why I watched it originally. I was 13. I see Valerie Kaprisky running around in her underwear, and I'm thinking, I gotta watch this movie. And then it changed. It affects me to this day. King of Comedy had a big impact on me.
I was just talking about that with somebody.
Oh, what a movie! What a movie! And to me, that movie is inspiring. It's like because this guy, Rupert Pupkin, he gets his mind locked on something, and he won't see sense. He just sees it like this, and he's crazy, and his mom's yelling at him, and he has the cardboard cutouts, but you love him and you're with him. And I don't like movies like Rudy. With football. I mean, it's a good movie, but I don't get inspired by that. I got inspired by movies like King of Comedy. See this guy, no matter what, he's crazy, he has problems, but it doesn't matter, and he takes care of it.
I saw something recently that reminded me of King of Comedy. It was another movie about what I consider King of Comedy. In my mind, it's about embarrassment.
Oh.
The whole scene when he goes with the girlfriend up to Jerry Lewis's house.
That's...
So
did Hitler.
Yeah.
And I made a mistake.
Yeah. And there was another movie I saw recently, and I was referencing King of Comedy, and it was a film. It's a recent film.
Patton Oswalt?
No. Yes, that was it.
Yes. That's a very good movie. Adult. A football fan or something.
No. Young Adult.
Oh, Young Adult. I think he did another movie.
Right. Yeah. There was the one with
Young Adult.
Cameron Diaz.
No, Charlize Theron.
Sorry, Charlize.
Oh, really?
I get them confused.
Because he did a movie called like The Fan or The Sports Fan or something, where he plays a parking garage attendant. But that reminded me of that. But really, Young Adult. That's a very good movie. Diablo Cody's a fantastic writer. She's redoing Evil Dead.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
And she wrote. I thought that movie. that's a movie.
That's a good
That's a
movie.
recent film that's been overlooked.
Yeah.
That I keep thinking about. A young adult.
Yeah, it's a real movie.
And the scene where she goes to that party, the baby shower.
The baby shower.
Reminded me of the scene in King of Comedy. And I was referencing that. And it reminded me of King of Comedy when you know, the scene that.
She spills the wine on her. And she,
Yeah.
What is she? Oh, the drums and the.
Yeah.
Wait, then she opens the door. Oh!
Doesn't it
Yeah!
remind you of King
Yeah,
of
I'm going to
Comedy?
go back. I love that movie. I'm going to go back and look at that. Oh, she's watching the Kardashians while she's doing her thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 'cause she's hooked up on some illusion about what
Who she
being
is
famous
and
and
what-
what being, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, she's so proud of being in Minneapolis, as though like she's in the Paris, you know, like she's made it.
I never thought about it in those terms. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna watch that tonight. I don't think my girlfriend has seen it, and so
Oh,
I
it's a
love
great
having a girlfriend that hasn't seen a lot of movies.
Yes.
Oh, it's the best. And yeah, okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
so much for coming in.
Thank you for having
You
me.
can't tell you how much it means to me. I can't tell you.
Well, no, it's
I
fun.
make
I
you
had a good
uncomfortable.
time.
But thank you. It's a great show. You gotta listen to the show. Listen to both parts. Click on the link above if you're on YouTube, and click on the link below if you're on Facebook to download the show. Free and easy download. You don't have to pay a dime. We'll
Really?
be
On
back.
iTunes as well?
Yeah, free to all. We'll be back next week with director Ken Kwapis. Until then, go see at least 3 movies this week. Okay. All right. Bye.
And it doesn't mean go to a multiplex and sneak in.
No, that's another. Can we keep rolling? You know, it's getting out of hand. I went to see a movie. I can't think of the. Oh, Gangster Squad. At the AMC, and I used to be able to
in
go
Burbank?
in Burbank. That's
Oh,
where I
that's
go.
the place where it's like open house. All they care about is if you bought popcorn.
Yeah.
You go to any movie you want at Burbank,
I-
AMC in Burbank.
I go there. Oh, it's great, but because it's a limit. But I go there during the day. That's my daytime movie place because
Yes.
it's right down the block. And but I was there and I saw that movie there, and it was like I couldn't watch the movie. It was too distracting.
Oh,
People
people talk.
texting and
Oh, I can't do
talking,
that.
eating popcorn, walking in and out, having babies. And some people bring their own food, and it sounds like they're unloading their groceries or something for the day. It's out of hand. That's why ArcLight is so great. I love the ArcLight House.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
But I just go to the Directors Guild so that I don't have to worry
Well,
about that.
yeah.
And then I go, if I have to go to
The
the movies,
screen is good there, but
if I have to go to the movies, I'll go 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, that's the time to go. Yeah.
That's
That's true.
it, because I can't do it during the...
What's your favorite movie theater to go see? If it's an important movie, what movie do you hope is playing at?
The
What
Vista.
Oh, the Vista! That's a great theater. Screen isn't that great. Sound is old school.
Perfect.
No, it is, but it's like I was thinking like the Rialto. The screen was terrible, but there's something. And I saw the Avengers at the Vista, and it was like they have a certain sound system there that you don't hear anymore, and it had that rumble that you don't get anymore.
Well, because it's standalone. You see,
Oh,
when-
is
when
that
it's-
what that
because,
is?
you know, sure, you can't put that low end sound in a multiplex because it will leak. No matter how much soundproofing they use, it will leak to the adjacent theater. So that you can only have that in like the Cinerama Dome.
Well, the Cinema Dome, I don't get that rumble
Well,
anymore. They have it, but it's different.
But Vista is like they got a good sound system.
They have a
there.
great sound system.
And
yeah.
the projection, I think, is perfectly
I don't know
fine.
why I said that. I don't know why.
And I love the seats.
The seats are great.
And their popcorn
yeah.
is delicious.
And it's good for
And,
shooting them.
and management is so nice there.
Yeah.
They really treat you well when you go to the
Yeah.
Vista.
I love
I mean,
it. Yeah.
I don't own it. I don't have a stake in the
No,
theater.
no,
but
I
I
know,
just,
yeah.
you ask, and that's the theater
Okay.
I'll always look first if
All
a movie
right.
is playing at the Vista. Before I'll go to even the ArcLight. And then second to that would be the ArcLight.
The ArcLight. What
In
about the
Hollywood.
Grauman's Chinese Theater? I always said I wanted to be
I hate the
buried
Grauman.
in
I
there.
hate the
Why?
The big
That shit-
Grauman, the big Grauman theater.
Why?
I never liked the aisle in the middle. That's what pisses me off.
Oh, see, I sit in the third row.
Yeah, I don't like the aisle in the middle.
They shot He Knows You're Alone, which I know you work. Don't you work with the gentleman that directed?
Armand.
Yeah, Armand.
Well, he's a friend of mine. I just spoke to him before coming here.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He Knows You're Alone, the first movie of Tom Hanks that I can think of, and they shoot the beginning, the prologue of that movie in the Grauman's Chinese Theater.
No.
Yep.
No.
$20.
No. I'll go 20 million. It was shot in Staten Island, and I know the theater where it was shot.
No, all right, I'm gonna.
It was shot at a multiplex.
They go downstairs. They shoot some of it. They go downstairs when she goes to the bathroom and stabbed through the.
It's all shot in Staten Island.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah, the movie was shot 100%
I didn't
Staten
want
Island.
to hear that. I always thought.
No. I'll get Armand on the phone.
Oh, okay, I believe you.
Yeah,
You know, I just watched it.
Yeah.
And True Romance, they shoot a lot in the Vista.
Well, I was shot at the Vista.
Yeah. All right, and before we forget, I know this is running long, and I forgot to do this during the show because I got so excited. A gift bag of a nice Francois ZERNECK'S head full of useless information about movies.
Oh my
tote
God.
bag, and inside it are some
Is
pens.
it check?
And a check
Oh.
and some gift certificates to Firenze Osteria, one of the great
Wow.
restaurants
It
on
is.
Lancashire Boulevard.
Don't forget.
And now you
Mention my name.
yeah, and I know you go in there now. You don't have to pay, or you get the discount.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah. And these are
This
good
is
ones.
great. Oh, that's nice.
All right, so enjoy. And
Well, thank you.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
all right. We'll see you next week. Bye.